Hi students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I'm streaming to you from beautiful Victoria here in Western Canada, situated on Vancouver Island, in the province of British Columbia. I hope wherever you are in the world today, you're doing awesome. And welcome to this speaking class. Hi Anna, hi Olivia, and welcome to our chat moderator, Carolina. Good to have so many with me this morning. Students, this is an IELTS speaking class, and we will be focusing on you speaking. We will use YouTube, this live class, in combination with Zoom. And the focus of part 2 today will be a musical instrument. So maybe a piano, a violin, a guitar, a flute. Think about a musical instrument that you've always wanted to play or that you really like listening to. Students, this lesson is presented to you by aehelp.com for academic IELTS. Make sure to visit us there. For the general IELTS, check us out at gieltshelp.com. These are our websites. They power these live classes. They have all of our materials. aehelp.com looks like this with a blue background. You can click this big red button to join. Right over there. It's a one-time payment, lifetime access. We're an IDP affiliate, a British Council partner, an IELTS test registration center, and host of the very first IELTS video on YouTube in 2011. Welcome, Sandra. Hi, Shiva. We help thousands of students every month to succeed and improve. These are just some of our success stories over the years. You should check that out when you have a moment. Let me just drop the link there for you. General IELTS, green background. Again, click the big red button and you are good to go. All right, everybody. If you've got the premium access, you get 2 more classes each week, one on Thursday, tomorrow, one on Friday. Premium students get 2 Zoom classes, Thursdays and Fridays. Those who join the websites, if you have questions, send an email, adrian@aehelp.com or admin@aehelp.com. The apps are Academic IELTS Help and General IELTS Help. We can link those to the websites. aehelp.com, gieltshelp.com. Let's get into it, everybody. Okay, and for premium users, again, tomorrow reading, Friday more speaking, all through Zoom. Okay, everyone. So here we go. You go to your IELTS exam. You show up early. Show up an hour before. Talk to other people. Get comfortable. Find the washrooms. Register. Check in 20 minutes before. You have to. Find other people. Say, hey, are you here for the speaking in English? And say, do you want to practice with me? Zoe, are you listening to that tip? When you have your speaking coming up, show up early, like 60 minutes before. Find other candidates, okay? Don't just start talking English when you meet with the examiner. That's a bad idea, okay? Zoe, got it? You'll be just fine for the exam. Just make sure you take the right steps, okay? Find another candidate and say, hey, I'm doing my speaking test in about 30-40 minutes. Can we sit down and practice some questions? Are you? And then some people will say, no, I'm so nervous, I'm just gonna zone out. But somebody will say, yeah, that's a good idea, and then talk to that person. Okay, then you meet with the examiner, and the examiner will say, welcome to the speaking section of the IELTS exam. My name is Adrian. I will be your examiner for this part of the test. We're conducting the exam in Vancouver. The time right now is 14 o'clock. This is candidate number 77324481, examiner number 972382, and exam center 7YQR94. Let's begin. First, may I see your identification? Oh, Sandra, I see you did the speaking. Did it kind of sound like this? Did it sound the same way that I just said, the start? I bet it did, if you did the speaking in person. Okay. So the question, may I see your identification? Full sentence answers right away, students. Okay, this is speaking. Make sure to speak and repeat. Copy what I say, copy how I say it. Okay, so tip, be sure to speak in full sentences. This is not an English class. It is an English proficiency test. Okay. Very good, Risham. So Risham says this. Risham says, certainly. Here's my passport. Please have a look. Great. It's simple, but it's a full sentence, and it's polite, and it suits the situation. I like it, Risham. Okay. Zoe, make sure that you are accurate. Your thinking is correct. You just need to make sure that you're giving accurate sentences. Zoe says, yes, sure. Here is my ID that I used for this exam. Please check my credentials. Yeah, because that's what they do, right? They look at you, they look at your passport, they look at you, they look at your passport. And then the next question is, what is your full name? And then you might say something like, well, my given name is Jack, and my surname is King. Please just call me Jack. Okay. So my given name is Jack, and my surname is King. Please just call me Jack. All right. Sandra says, yes, it sounds like you're speaking, Adrian. Yeah. I've taken the exam. I've trained for the exam. I know it sounds like it, Sandra. I was just, it was a rhetorical question. You need to get an 8. Okay. Let's work towards that. Jack, you're very welcome. You were my inspiration for the name today. So again, full sentence, everybody. Repeat questions. What is your full name? My given name is Jack, and my surname is King. Please just call me Jack. Michael, good to see you in class. Michael says, my given name is Miguel, and my family name is Bolivar, but please call me by my first name, Miguel. Okay, Miguel, I like it. All right. And then the examiner will say, for part 1, I will ask you a couple of questions to get to know you better and some questions on a general topic. Where do you live? Where do you live? Now, when you hear this type of question, it should this question should remind you of the importance of good structure in communication. Okay? The most important mark in your speaking is coherence. It's not pronunciation. It's not even vocabulary. It's coherence. Do you make sense? Can I understand you? Okay? Understanding a person is not necessarily just language skills like vocabulary and grammar, but it's good structure. Okay? So, like big to small or small to live. Well, I live here in Canada, in the province of BC, the city of Victoria, in a neighborhood called Fernwood, in a 4-bedroom detached house with my family. So this is an example of big to small, right? So first you think about the country, then you think about the province, then you think about the city, the neighborhood, the house. You can pretty much find me by those instructions, right? Or you can go the other way. You could say, I live in a 4-bedroom house with my family in the quaint city of Victoria, which is the capital of the province of British Columbia in Western Canada. Okay, so this one is kind of small to big, but it's structured. Okay, it's much better than saying something like, I live in Canada in a 4-bedroom house in BC in Victoria. It's like, what? Okay. All right. So that's how you need to do it. Okay. So these would be like your band 9 answers. Okay. Coralla, let's take a look. Coralla says, I am from Kathmandu. It is the capital city of Nepal. The place where I live is such a vibrant city. Okay, so watch. City, country, city. Is that good structure? So for communication, is that a good structure? City, country, city? You're probably going, it's a little bit awkward. And you're right. Okay, Corella. So this is what I mean by structure. I am from Kathmandu. It is a vibrant city and the capital of Nepal. Okay. Now you should always include the physical location. Like, do you live in an apartment, or do you live in a townhouse, or in a house, or where do you live? Okay. Golzoda says, I live in Bolangor, located in Samarkand in southern Uzbekistan. Right, Golzoda? So again, be specific, students. Specific, well-structured answers get you high band scores. All right. Everybody with me on that, right? Okay. So then the examiner will say, let's talk about technology. Do you enjoy using technology? Okay. Again, nice full sentence answer for this one, students. Let's really get into it. Start speaking, because very soon you will have a chance to speak through Zoom. For those of you who don't have Zoom, you should download it. I'll check that for you right now while you're answering this question. Okay. So again, do you enjoy using technology? Okay. And we'll be using Zoom in just a bit. So there's the download for Zoom. It's free. Okay. It's not us. It's not our app. It's one of the most popular apps for conferences. So that's what we'll use here in a moment. Okay. All right. Do you enjoy using technology? Yes. I usually like to use technology, like my mobile phone or the oven to bake a delicious cake. I think technology makes my life easier and allows me to do amazing tasks like playing games and baking. Okay. All right. Golzoda, I'll share the link in a minute. I'm just sharing the link to download Zoom for people who don't have it yet. For now, no, that's not the link yet. That's just the download link for students who don't have Zoom. Okay, we're still on this question, the do you enjoy using technology? So at this point, you don't need to join the Zoom class yet. You just need to download Zoom if you don't have it. Okay. All right. Yeah, maybe not everybody. Why? Zozoi says, yes, I completely like using, we don't really say completely, Zozoi. Maybe some people, but if you want to be kind of slang, you can say totally. I totally like using. Okay? So, it's not I completely. It's okay to use some slang, some natural language, like I totally like using technology as it helps me to handle my assignments. Okay, this is a band 6. If you say it perfectly. If you don't say it perfectly, Zoe, it's going to be a band 5. Okay. What's missing? What do you think, students? Okay. What's missing from Zoe's answer? And if you think, maybe an example, that would be great. Yeah, Zoe, more detail, exactly. Like, yes, I totally like using technology as it helps me to handle assignments. I just used Canva for creating graphics for my upcoming biology project. And it looks amazing. Sure. Okay. So, Zoe, again, everybody, just repeat after me. Yes, I totally like using technology as it helps me to handle my assignments. I just use Canva for creating graphics for my upcoming biology project, and it looks amazing. And you might even throw in like, I had a lot of fun doing it. Okay. All right. Alexander, nice of you to join us. Alexander says, yes, I do. I actively use different types of technologies, such as mobile phone applications, car navigation, smart TV, and other smart home appliances. These make my life comfortable and exciting. Sure, right? Watch a good movie, have some fun. Just started watching 1883 on Netflix the other day. Quite the series if you like Western. All right. Alexander says, yes, I do. I actively use different types of technologies such as mobile phone applications, car navigation, smart TV, and other smart home appliances. These make my life comfortable and exciting. Okay. Always think of the answer, explanation, example, students. Okay. Tip. Think of answer plus explanation plus example. I'll say it a million times and I'll say it again. Okay. Very good, students. Yeah, let's do this. So now we can chat a little bit through Zoom. So hopefully some of you had a chance to download Zoom. I just want to make sure I have the right link here. I don't think I do. So let me just give you the right link. That's the link we're using today. Okay. I'll drop that into the chat as well, so you can join the Zoom session. Now, students, hang in there. Don't rush off going, oh, speak it. We're going to practice. You're going to hear different band levels from your peers. I'll give feedback, and we'll take some notes, learn some vocabulary, and how to get a good score in the IELTS speaking test. So join that link that I just dropped into the chat. Again, it's this one here. And let me put on my headset. Let me start the session. And then we'll get into some more of part 1, 2, and 3 of the speaking. All right, and you're welcome to use your video in Zoom as well. I can see you. And again, students, if you're enjoying this class and you want more speaking like this, definitely join our premium IELTS package, aehelp.com, for academic IELTS. Click that big red button there to join. And for general IELTS, it's gieltshelp.com. Again, click that big red button there to join. Once more, it's a one-time payment, costs about $30 to $50 US. You get 2 more classes each week. We've got a reading class tomorrow and a speaking class on Friday for our premium users, all through Zoom. Lots of chances to interact there. So, okay, let's get your classmates in here. We've got a lucky 13. Okay, let's get your... All right, and then please volunteer, everyone. To volunteer, use the React button in your panel if you're new to Zoom. And raise your hand. If you raise your hand, you will see your hand go up like that, and then you're good. All right. I think that's, is that Jack, maybe? Can you unmute yourself, please?
Hello, Adrian.
Hi.
How are you today?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you for asking.
Awesome. Okay. I think you tried to volunteer yesterday, but I think you maybe had a little bit of internet trouble.
Yeah. Yesterday I just on the road. The internet is unstable.
Yeah. Just make sure when you're driving, Jack, to focus on the road, right? Or if you're riding your bike, I don't want you to have an accident. All right.
No, I just take a taxi.
Okay. All right, Jack, let's do this. So let's get into some speaking. Are you ready?
Yeah, ready.
Okay, let's do it. So welcome to the speaking section of the IELTS exam. My name is Adrian. I will be your examiner for this part of the test.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you. Nice to meet you as well. May I see your identification?
Sure. This is my ID card that I use to register this examination. Please have a look.
And what is your full name?
My given name is Yanjun. My family name is Kang, but I chose Jack as my English name. Please just call me Jack.
Okay, Jack. For part 1, I will ask you a couple of questions to get to know you better, and some questions on a general topic. Where do you live?
I live in an apartment with 2 bedrooms in the suburbs of Beijing, which is the capital city of China.
Let's talk about technology.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy using technology?
Yeah, I'm very enjoy technology. I think I use technology every minute. I like to use smartphone, TVs, and as well as some softwares. For example, I use ChatGPT to improve my English grammar.
Okay. I'm going to stop there for a second and
Yeah.
give you some feedback. Jack, first of all, a big thumbs up to you. Big thumbs up. I can tell you're practicing. I can tell you're working really, really hard. That was a very good introduction. Very good introduction. First of all, students, did you notice how Jack just was confident and natural? So when there were some pauses, he just used those pauses to be natural. So when I paused at the beginning, Jack said, "Nice to meet you." That's great. That's fantastic. And then later on, you said, "Sure." When I was like, when I said, "Now for part one, I'll ask you some questions on a general topic," and you're like, "Sure." That's natural. It's good to have those little natural nuances in the language. Absolutely. So good for you, Jack, for doing that. And you had nice fluency. You had good grammar. You had the size of your answers. They were right on. They were complete, nicely detailed. I say that, you would get like a 7.5 for that so far. So somewhere between good to very good. I think that was some of your best speaking so far. To get a little bit higher, you want to just pay attention to your intonation. So sounding a little bit more rhythmic, a little bit more natural, a little bit of attention to pronunciation. But you know what? If you keep doing what you just did, Jack, you're going to do fantastic. Okay.
Okay.
Let me teach you a nice high level word. A person who loves technology is called a technophile.
Technophile.
Yeah. So you can say, "Yes, I consider myself a technophile."
Yeah, I'm a technophile.
Sure, that works. Or you can say, "Yes, I consider myself a technophile."
Yes, I consider myself as a technophile.
Yeah. Do you know what a person who is scared of technology or doesn't like technology, do you know what they're called?
I don't know.
Okay, so the phile in Latin means to love. So technophile literally means to love technology. The opposite to fear is phobe. Okay, it's like phobia. So a person who is scared of technology is called a technophobe. So no, I'm a bit of a technophobe. It means a person who's...
No, I'm a bit of a technophobe.
Yeah, you just told me you're basically, I'm kind of scared of technology, right? So that's just some nice high-level, vocabulary. I thought I'd teach everybody that while we're on this question. Jack, that was really good. I loved your example, by the way. You said, for example, I use ChatGPT to improve my English grammar. Very fitting, very nice example. So good thinking, good strategy. Just keep doing that for part one. Okay, Jack?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much for being my first volunteer.
Thank you for having me. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye, Jack. All right. Let's give Jack a thumbs up. He really deserves it. I've heard Jack now kind of really improve from like giving band 5.5 responses now all the way to a 7.5 start. That was really good. Very confident, very accurate, nice and fluent, natural. Liked it, Jack. I really did. That was great. Carolina with a quadruple thumbs up. Let's get some other people in here. We've got 3 in the weight room there. All right, and lots of hands up. Let's reach out to Alexander. Alexander, go ahead and unmute yourself there, please.
Hello.
How
Hello.
are you, Alexander?
As good as can be. How are you doing? How's your life after war? Trading war started with this.
It's the same, Alexander. It's the same. You know what Caesar said. Keep them fed, keep them entertained, right? That's politics. And maybe
So far, no changes. No price increase. No?
I mean, honestly, Alexander, I think there were big price increases even before. So I don't know if there's more of a price increase. Well, the price has been increasing ever since I was born. So,
Sure.
so I don't know what to tell you. Is it more now? I don't know. Maybe in the last few years since COVID, there's been a lot of price increases, I think. So it's hard to tell. All right, Alexander. Let's get into some questions. Are you ready?
Sure. My pleasure.
All right, let's talk about technology. What kind of technology do you use on a daily basis?
Well, I do use plenty of different equipment, starting from mobile phone and mobile phone applications like YouTube or messengers, especially WhatsApp. Just yesterday, I watched news through YouTube because it's much easier to tune international channels nowadays using such advanced technology as YouTube. It was impossible several years ago.
Have you ever tried to limit your use of technology? Why or why not?
Of course, it's a good question. It's quite normal, or let's say it's happened a lot, widely happening for that we have some kind of addiction to technologies, and some, especially social networks, and even YouTube can devour huge time. So I try to limit usage of such entertainment technologies to have more time for more valuable activity. Yesterday I postponed watching some movies to weekends.
Okay, I'm going to stop there, Alexander. I want to give you some feedback right away. So band score wise, it would be like a band 6 to 6.5. You're being fluent, but it's kind of that same scenario, Alexander, where especially with this second question, you're not really answering it. Like yes, you're answering it, but you're generalizing. I should say it this way: you're generalizing the answer. Students, don't generalize answers. Okay, I'm just gonna give everybody a little bit of advice here, Alexander. So bear with me. So for the IELTS, right? For IELTS, do not generalize. Answers. Do you know what I mean by that, Alexander? Like, don't generalize answers?
Well, to be honest, I'm a bit surprised because I gave you exact answer. I'd like to avoid time of time for social networks. It's not generalizing. Very concrete answer in my view.
I'm going to argue that one with you. The question was, have you ever tried to limit your use of technology? And you said, of course. It's a good question. And I'm like, okay, I get it. So you're limiting your time. And you said it's quite normal. It happens widely. We have some kind of addiction to technology. So you suddenly switched from, you started by talking about yourself, but then you switched to everybody. And it's common. We commonly do this in our everyday interactions. We'll generalize our thoughts because we want to it's our social nature. We want to include others. We want to defer that responsibility. But in good communication, especially the IELTS. I mean, it's an exam. You're not going to see this guy ever again, so or girl. You want to be a lot more direct. And again, remember, I keep saying you want to reflect that grammar. Have you ever tried to limit? You should say, yes, I have. That should be immediately. Yes, I have.
Sure.
Yeah, and so it should be, yes, I have, of course. It's a good question. I have, and even if you generalize, like you say others, you should say, like many others, I have felt that I overuse technology. Okay?
Yes,
so
I got your point. Yeah, sure, clear.
Now, even if you talk about yourself here and you say, yes, I have tried to limit my use of technology, for this kind of a question, Alexander, what would be a good concept to include? So, one of the strategies that I keep telling students to remember in the IELTS, I think that there's one specifically here that would be very useful for this one. What do you think I'm thinking of? Let's see if any of your classmates can maybe help you answer that question. So for good communication, Risham says use examples. It's not quite what I'm thinking. Again, just think about the question. Some questions, it's like this flag should go off that, oh, this question should use this. Have you ever tried to limit your use of technology? Paraphrasing the question is it should be for every question, Abraham. Anna says clear explanation, but still not. Alexander, any idea what I might be kind of trying to lead you towards or lead students towards here? It starts with a Q.
To give some exact data, quantitative and qualified.
Yeah, quantification. Yeah, exactly, right? I mean, the question says limit your use of technology. Like, what does that mean, right? Can you give everybody an example, please, of answering this quantitatively? I'll ask you one more time, Alexander, and then just try to give me another answer, but quantify it. Have you ever tried to limit your use of technology?
Yes, I have. Just during last weekend, I tried to limit watching of some YouTube history video by 2 hours before the bedtime to be able to wake up early next day. So in general, I tried to limit leisure time before weekends before bedtime by 1 or 2 hours.
Okay, perfect.
More. Otherwise, I can
and don't go off topic.
Next.
Remember, it's technology. Yeah. It's technology. It's not weekend. It's not enjoyment hours. It's technology, right? So stay on topic. But that's it. Okay, everybody heard that? That was good. Alexander said, just during last weekend, I tried to limit watching some YouTube history videos to just 2 hours, right? That's quantification. Now I've got clear communication coming from you, or I should say the examiner does, right? So they're going to go, okay, this person clearly understands what it means to limit your use of technology, right? So that's what it should be, okay? So that's how your high band answer would sound is, yes, I have been trying to, here, let me use an idiom here when you're limiting. So yes, I have been trying, let's use some present perfect progressive, trying to cut back on my use of social media to no more than an hour a day. Just yesterday, I limited my use of YouTube to 1 hour before bed. Okay, so try to repeat the sentence after me, Alexander. Yes, I have. I have been trying to cut back on my use of social media to no more than an hour a day. Just yesterday, I limited my use of YouTube to 1 hour before bed.
Yes, I have. I have been trying to cut back the usage of my use of social media to no more than an hour a day. Just yesterday, I limited the watching of YouTube to 1 hour before the bed.
Nice, right? So it doesn't have to be super complicated. It just has to be super accurate, right? Grammatically and with the information. So Alexander, I really, really enjoy your input, and you're such a clever person. And, you know, I would love to sit down with you for a nice long chit chat one day about all topics, politics and sports. But again, remember everybody, IELTS, not the place, right? IELTS, you just have to focus on strategy and these kinds of details to get those high band scores. So Alexander, any questions?
I had one question, but if you have time.
Sure, fire away.
I'm interested why you stress that you speak with some Hollywood accent. At the same time, I just checked that such stars like Robert De Niro or Meryl Streep are not from west of US, but from East, as well as Jim Carrey. Does it mean you mean different Hollywood from these big stars? So what kind of accent do you have?
What kind of accent do I have?
Yeah.
I speak with a West Coast accent. So the English pronunciations or accents in U.S., Canada, they can kind of be divided as northern. So there are northern accents that you'll find up in like Alaska, Yukon, Northwest Territories. There are central accents that you'll find in the central provinces and states of the U.S., like Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Utah, Minnesota. And then you'll find Western accents that you'll find in places like British Columbia, Alaska, California, Oregon, Washington State. And then you'll find East Coast accents that are common around places like Ontario, state of New York, Florida. And then you'll find the southern accents that are like Kentucky, Texas, and so forth. The Hollywood is situated in California, and the interestingly, to answer your question, Alexander, and some of you might be curious about this, interestingly, the Western North American accent and the Eastern North American accent are actually quite similar in many ways. They're a little bit clearer. They're not as bitten accents, not like that, but they're more crisp. And the movie industry, Alexander, the movie industry is mostly situated on the East Coast in New York and on the West Coast in Los Angeles and Vancouver. And they mix. So actors and actresses from Western US and Canada go to the East sometimes to make movies, and the Eastern actresses, they go to the West. Hollywood, of course, is in Los Angeles in California. So in those movies, you kind of hear a mix of that Western and Eastern North American accent. And you have to listen very carefully to be able to tell which one's which. Okay?
Yeah.
Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, it has much sense. I've heard that the only very noticeable word which we use in Canada, you say differently about or something like that.
Again, not so much on the West Coast. So on the West Coast, you hear the word about. It's not about. In central Canada, like Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and in some of the maritime provinces, you'll hear people say it more like a boot. But even for me in Victoria or people in Vancouver, when we hear that, we're kind of like, you mean about, not a boot. so there are differences, but the biggest differences are definitely the southern U.S., the Bible Belt. Those are very different English accents, and then sometimes also the northern ones are quite different as well. So, yeah.
Okay.
All right. Thanks for that question, Alexander. That was good.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
You too. Bye. All right.
Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. Everybody give Alexander a big thumbs up. That was fantastic. Let's take somebody else. Shakhreen, why don't you unmute yourself?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear, Shakhreen.
All right, sir. Thank you. Thank you for choosing me, sir. I didn't expect that, honestly.
It's you
Thanks a lot.
you put your hand up, and that's what you do for that to happen, right? So thank you. All right, Shakhreen, let's try a couple questions. Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay. How has technology changed your life?
I believe it has tremendously changed my life in the past decades, I believe. Because before I wasn't able to use even internet, because I come from Afghanistan, from a rural area where we did not have internet even. Since I came to Malaysia, so I studied my bachelor's here. I was exposed to social media, Instagram, Facebook, and the best thing I liked was ChatGPT because it was very helpful. I've been actually trying to learn IELTS with ChatGPT. Just these I've been investing my time into learning English with ChatGPT. But like, let's say 10 years ago, we didn't have ChatGPT.
Have you ever experienced problems caused by technology?
I believe yes, because once upon a time, like a year ago, my online banking was hacked by hackers. I think it was just, I don't know who actually did it, but my money was wiped out, honestly. And after that, I immediately reported it to bank, and they recovered my money. Of course, I had to make a police report for that.
That's the end of part 1. Let's continue with part 2. For this part, I will show you some questions. And you will have 1 minute to read these, think about your answer, and then you will have 1 to 2 minutes to speak. You can take notes in this 1 minute time if you wish. Is that clear?
Sure, that's clear, sir.
Okay, then talk about a musical instrument you like to play or listen to. Your 1 minute preparation time begins now. All right, Shahrain, can you read the question for everybody, or the questions for everybody here?
Yes, sir. Talk about a musical instrument you like to play or listen to. You should say what the instrument is, when and where you first heard it or played it, what it sounds like, and explain why you enjoy this particular musical instrument. You will have 1 to 2 minutes to talk about this topic. You will have 1 minute to prepare and what you are going to say.
Very nice. Okay. So Shahrain, your 1 minute preparation time begins, right? And then the first step you take is you realize, hey, I'm talking about an object. So when I'm talking about an object, you should talk about its appearance, right? What does it look like? So if it's a guitar, you should explain that the guitar, it's a handheld object. It's got a body that's kind of roundish in shape. It's got a long neck and some strings, some metal strings that echo through the body of the guitar. So the appearance, and then you talk about its origin, where you got it. My father bought me my first guitar when I was 8 years old, right? So you talk about the origin, and then you talk about its use. So how do you use it? The guitar is played with 2 hands. One is used for holding the strings, and the other is used for strumming to create various sounds and notes, right? So that's the use. And then the function. The guitar is one of the most important instruments for making music. It is in all kinds of ensembles and bands. It's a string instrument, and many people enjoy its sound, which is a resonating sound. So it's function. And then you talk about the experience. I love the guitar. I can take it with me. It's portable. Anytime I go and hang out with a group of friends, sit around a campfire, it's a pleasure to play and strum the guitar for everybody. So you talk about the experience. Does that kind of make sense, Shahrain?
Of course, it rings a lot of bells, you know.
Yeah, right. Yeah, absolutely, right. So it just makes sense. And then, of course, you think about 2 or 3 objects in this case, but if you actually do play a musical instrument, or maybe multiple.
I wish I did.
I do too. It didn't happen in my lifetime, but my daughters, I have 2 daughters, and both of them play the piano, so I'm now living through my children. All right. So Shahrain, in this case, what musical instrument do you like listening to? So can you tell me 1 or 2?
Of course, one of them is called Dambura. It's actually from Afghanistan, originally from Afghanistan, because I am originally from Afghanistan. So, of course, it has two strings that people
okay, just a sec. You're already giving me the answer. So, okay, so Dambura, what's another one? Just as a backup, what would be another one that you like listening to? So the Dambura is one. What would be another one that you like listening to?
Another one would be piano, of course.
Okay.
Piano.
Okay, so students, always think of 2, even if you're like, if you're like Shahrain and you're like, okay, I like the Dambura and I like the piano, but I really want to talk about the Dambura, fine. But do remember that, part 3 is coming. So if you think of 2 or 3 instruments in this 1 minute, that will also help you answer questions in part 3. That's another reason that it's really important to try to think of at least a couple, and then choose the one that you feel the most comfortable talking about. Okay, so Shahrain, you're going to go with the Dambura here, it sounds like.
Yes.
All right. Great. So then you think about, what it looks like, where you heard it, where it originates from in your life, and so forth. And then the one last step in the 1 minute preparation time, everyone, is get that first sentence ready using the topic. So talk about a musical instrument you like to play or listen to. What would be your first sentence when the examiner says, okay, your 1 minute preparation time is up, please begin speaking? So what would be your first sentence, Shakrin?
Well, I would go this way. An instrument that I love to listen to is called dambura. Its origin is from Afghanistan.
Okay, good. Now, just a sec. Remember what you said to me? You said, unfortunately, I don't play any instruments. You can start with that. You can say, unfortunately, I do not play any instruments. And it's okay to say that, right? Like that really immediately tells me that, it's like you're one of the many people like me that kind of says like, Dad, Mom, why did you guys not get me to play an instrument? But unfortunately, I do not play any instrument, but I love to listen to, an instrument I love to listen to is the dambura. Okay, so that would be a good start for sure. Okay. All right, let me start you off. Are you ready to give the answer, Shakri?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, let's do it. So, talk about a musical instrument you like to play or listen to. Your 1 minute preparation time is up. Please begin speaking.
Well, unfortunately, I do not play any instrument, but an instrument I love to listen to is called dambura. Its origin is from Afghanistan. People play it mostly on parties or special occasions, as it's their national musical instrument, actually national Afghanistan's musical instrument, I would say. Yeah, it's made of wood. Of course, the one side is bigger and the other side is like how should I say, thinner and longer. There are of course two strings that make sounds, and one side of the dambura is inside is empty because it has to produce sound. Of course, one of the guy that plays it well is called Daoud Sarkhosh. Of course, he's also from Afghanistan. He plays it very well. I always love to listen to his music on YouTube, Instagram, Spotify, everywhere. I tried before to actually play it, but I could not play it. It was honestly, it was horrible, as it did not sound as good as it should. So, yeah.
Okay. All right. I tried to catch most of what you were saying and then fix it a little bit with some vocabulary and grammar so that it's even better. I would say, Shakrin, that your band score for that would be like a 6.5 to 7. By the way, your part 1 speaking was like a 7.5. You had some really nice answers there, very nice fluency. Part 2 is, I think, arguably the most challenging part of the IELTS speaking, because you have to speak for 1 to 2 minutes, and you really have to pay attention to these pieces like appearance, origin, use, function. Just a couple questions that you can think about next time you talk about the dambura. So how big is this instrument? Like, how long is it? Is it like 50 centimeters on average, or 1.2
like a meter? Honestly, it's like 80 centimeters something. Honestly, I do not know what the parts are called, to be honest.
That's okay. So only students in the IELTS exam only focus on what you know. Don't try to focus on what you don't know. So if it's about 80 centimeters to a meter in length, you can say that it's roughly 80 centimeters to a meter in length. Can you repeat that after me? It's roughly 80 centimeters to a meter in length.
It's roughly 80 centimeters in length.
Is it played sitting or standing, or could it be played either or? So how do people usually, do they hold it in their arms like a guitar, or is it put on the lap more like
Yes. They have to put it on their lap and sit, actually, mostly on a chair or on the ground. Like
that right there just bumped up your
Yeah.
mark by half a band. Okay, that right there's the kind of English that they're looking for. All right, that's the kind of description that they're looking for. So that's exactly what you need to visually see this instrument being played, right? Do the musicians usually pluck or strum the instrument? Strum is when you pull your hand through the instrument. Pluck is when you pull on the strings, or is it both?
I think it's with their nails, you know.
Yep. So they strum. The instrument. Yeah, you strum
yeah.
the instrument. Yeah, rather than pluck the instrument, right? So okay, I'm going to go sentence by sentence. Just repeat me, everybody. Unfortunately, I do not play an instrument, but an instrument I'd love to listen to is the dambura. Just repeat me, Shahrin.
Unfortunately, I do not play any instrument, but an instrument I love to listen to is the dambura.
Its origin is from Afghanistan. People play it mostly at parties or special occasions, as it is considered the national musical instrument of the country.
Its origin is from Afghanistan. People play it mostly at parties or special occasions, as it is considered a national musical instrument.
It is made of wood. One side is bigger, while the other side is thin and long. It is roughly 80 centimeters in length.
It's made of wood. One side is bigger, while the other side is thin and longer.
It is roughly?
Yeah, it has two strings.
No. It is, don't just read, listen to me. It is roughly 80 centimeters long.
Wait.
It's not
Where-
there. Don't read it. Just listen. Just
Oh,
listen.
okay,
and read.
okay.
It is roughly 80 centimeters in length.
It is roughly 80 centimeter in length.
It has two strings that the musician strums with his nails to emit the sound.
It has two strings that musicians strum throughout
With their nails
with their nails
to emit sound.
to emit sound. Yes.
It has a hollow body to amplify that sound.
It has a hollow body to amplify that sound.
One of my favorite musicians who plays this instrument is Dan Sarhosh, and I like listening to his songs on either YouTube or Spotify.
One of my favorite musician who plays this instrument is called Daoud Sarhosh.
And I like listening to his songs either on YouTube or Spotify.
His name is Daoud Sarhosh, and I enjoy his music by listening on YouTube or Spotify.
Okay, good. All right, so again, at your level, everybody, if you're at Shahrain's level, you should be doing lots of repetition work, and not just by reading it, but by listening and then just repeating from sound, okay? And paying attention to the context of what is being said. Okay, Shahrain?
Oh.
All right. Shahrain, Golzoda is asking, what is hollow? Can you tell Golzoda what the word hollow means? Hollow?
I think hollow is something that inside is empty.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah, like a hollow tree that an owl or a squirrel lives in, right?
I didn't know actually what that is called, because the dambura, one side is thicker and that thicker side inside is empty. So I should have said one side is thicker and hollow, the other side is thinner, longer. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely. Okay. Okba says, after the class, I'm going to listen to the dambura. I will too, Okba. It's inspiring. Absolutely. Okay. All right.
Actually,
yep.
You can, let's say, you can just search Daoud Sarhosh dambura. It will come up.
I'm sure we'll be able to find
I've
it.
just commented, yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing that, and thank you for your speaking. It's very good. Keep practicing, Shahrain. Thank you so much.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
All right, everybody give Shakarina a big thumbs up. And we've run out of time, everybody. So Natasha, Mini, Olive, if you're premium users, please join the class tomorrow. If you don't have the premium link, please ask me. And then you can continue speaking with me there. We'll go through a reading section, but we do a lot of speaking even when we do the reading section. So for those of you who are not premium users, we'll have more classes like this next week on Tuesday and Wednesday. And if you want to become a premium user, just join us at aehelp.com and gieltshelp.com. These are the websites that power the live classes, and they're the websites where you become a premium user and get 2 more classes each week. Golzoda, you're very welcome. Nat, if you didn't get the link, please send me an email. I did send them out. Again, it's a matter of whitelisting the email of our company, so make sure admin at aehelp.com and the others are whitelisted, okay? Check your spam trash maybe, okay? All right, everyone. Have a fantastic rest of the day. Thank you, Carolina, for moderating our chat. As always, you are fantastic. And thank you, volunteers. I'm Adrian. I'm signing out from beautiful Victoria here in Western Canada. The General IELTS website looks like this. Academic one looks like this. And hopefully we'll see many of you tomorrow in those premium classes. Bye, everybody.